I was at a trade show once when somebody came up to me and said that their theory was that the wires in the back of your window, and I said, "You mean the defrost wires?" They go, "Well, that's what they want you to think. That's actually so the government could listen to you." And besides thinking that the person was nuts, I also went, well, I know the things that I talk about, and I think they're beneficial for most people. I think that you being empowered and seeing yourself as being part of the beauty of the universe is pretty cool. So maybe they'll get some good out of it. But I don't believe that my defrost wires in my truck are so that the government can listen to me. But I'm not talking about that kind of crazy conspiracy stuff. And I have said for decades to many classes all around the world that the conspiracy movement is part of the conspiracy because they come up with this crazy crap. Okay? But how about the stuff that they've admitted to? Let's talk about that. Okay? The Tuskegee Study that was held from 1932 to 1972. Democratic administrations ran it. Republican administrations continued it. Both parties present for 40 years. Clinton apologized in 1997. Nobody went to prison. MKUltra. So I have a book called The Other Powering You, where I show you not only that I was in it and I was a trainer in the Air Force program called Project Arrow. Go read my book. It's one of the early chapters. You may be able to download part of it for free off of Amazon. It's called The Other Powering You. But the CIA program crossed Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson administrations. Church Committee exposed it in 1975. Most records were destroyed. There's been a whole lot of crap on the news about government records and who owns them and who has the right to destroy them and what happens when people do. Okay. Most records destroyed before investigation. Nobody went to prison. Operation Sea Spray. 1950, Truman administration, bacterial aerosols over San Francisco civilians. Confirmed. Never prosecuted. Nobody went to jail. Project SHAD. SHAD. Project 112, 1960s. Kennedy-Johnson era. Military personnel used as test subjects for chemical and biological agents. Classified for veterans. Veterans denied benefits under multiple administrations of both parties. Yeah, the people who are willing to take a bullet for us, that's how we treated them. And then we complain that the GI Bill is just too much to expect. Or, excuse me, my competition does, that I'm running against. Nuclear test veterans. Eisenhower through Carter, both parties, radiation illness denied systematically, benefits fought for decades. They put a battalion out in the desert and let off a nuclear bomb while the scientists were in a bunker. Yeah. They actually did. Go look it up. Don't take my word for it. Agent Orange. Johnson started it. Nixon continued it. Veterans fought both parties for recognition of the poisoning for 30 years. The Flint, Michigan water crisis. Obama administration. Democratic governor replaced by Republican governor who made the switch. EPA knew. delayed, children poisoned. Nobody went to prison. Okay, MMIWG. Every administration for 150 years, both parties, federal government still doesn't maintain reliable data without being forced to. Missing black girls and women. Systemic across all administrations. Congress had to pass a resolution in 2020 asking media to cover it equally. The ask itself is the indictment. Foster care to trafficking. Both parties funded the system. Both parties underfunded oversight. Christy Grimm was terminated for documenting, that was an attorney's general, Christy Grimm. I would like to have her on my podcast. Federal reports exist, nothing systemically fixed. They're still talking about it. That's the whole Epstein file thing. Okay? It's like who's who on Drama Kings, right? They're not actually fixing the problem. Okay, recently, ICE and Customs and Border Patrol, detention abuses, started expanding under Clinton, accelerated under Bush, continued under Obama, who set deportation records, exploded under Trump first term, continued under Biden, record deaths now under Trump second term. Both parties built this. Neither fixed it when they had the chance. I'll get back to that chance part in a second. Roundup Farm Bill. Seems like a funny name, doesn't it? Especially when all the politicians stood up and said, "We're for family farms." Both parties received Aiken Group lobbying money. Both parties passed farm bills protecting glyphosate manufacturers. The trifecta moments, Democrat or Republican, produced no meaningful protection for farmers and consumers. Do you know what the trifecta is? That's when one party, Democrat or Republican, controls the Senate, the House, and the White House. Nobody could have stopped them. All they had to do was pass it. They didn't. And the farm bill that they just passed through the House is really, really good for corporate farms and for chemical companies and for pharmaceuticals. Epstein Network. The Southern District of New York had material and sat on it across administrations. Maxwell convicted, client list buried, both parties have exposure, neither has pushed for full disclosure. There's been a few people in the Senate that have rattled the cage, but if you get me to the Senate, I'm going to read every name in it. Okay. So there's documented jury out on some of this, right? So they haven't proved every part of it. We just all know that the official story is bullshit. JFK assassination. Magic bullet theory. Never physically replicated under controlled conditions. Warren Commission member Hale Boggs later questioned its conclusions publicly. Boggs disappeared in 1972, just before his huge interview was supposed to take place. And more on that. More on that. Hale Boggs and Nick Begich in 1972, Nixon administration, 2 congressmen, same plane, never found. Boggs had publicly questioned Warren Commission, jury out on cause. Disappearance is documented fact. His name was Hale Boggs and Nit Burgich. Okay. During the Bush administration, anti-war vote imminent, plane crash 10 days before anticipated re-election of Paul Wellstone in 2002. Coincidence. NTSB conclusion contested by independent investigators, jury out on cause, death is documented fact. So what about all those missing scientists they're talking about? There's been 11 of them. Spans Biden and Trump administrations, both present during disappearances. Congressional investigation, now formal. Any idea how that story is going to read? Geographic clustering real, all connected to nuclear and aerospace programs. Oversight office gutted under current administration. Jury out on connections and causes. The disappearances are documented fact. So they're gone. We just don't know why. Maybe they're on a beach somewhere together.